Good evening, Free Enterprise fans. Well, welcome to After Dark Racing. We are at Game 3 between Fleury and Soleras. And with me tonight, / this morning, we have Gambit doing all the amazing production value. We have Night Dew protecting the buttons from, the possums of the night. And to my left, way too early, is the irreplaceable Poidrak. Poidrak, good morning.
Irreplaceable. Then I'm pretty sure I've been replaced.
Wait, replaced by who?
Who knows? It's too late here. It's 4:15 in the morning for me. It's too late here. They've chucked me out, and I'm just doing this in my little corner.
I mean, yeah, I guess if the sun isn't up yet, it is still nighttime. So I'll allow it. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for somebody sadly to go home?
Nope, because these are two very good runners. We hate to see people leave, but someone does have to. Currently 1-1, Soleras coming in with a game 1 advantage due to his Swiss ranking. Flurry up against it, but it got the first win of between these, forcing a tiebreaker. And well, we've got a Yang start. Got to get Sid. Got to defeat Asura, as well as the normal things. This race is going to be a good one.
It really is. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, and like you said, unfortunately, someone is probably going to go home, unless there's a tie, in which case, hey, maybe we just do a game 4 right afterwards, but...
Well, I hope they're going to go home, because they're already home.
Admins, please don't newspaper me for wishing a tie. Look, I'm Team Free Enterprise. We all want to see more Free Enterprise, right? And speaking of, there we go, here's the start. We're off.
So let's see what we get. Obviously, we're going to start in Baron, and we're going to walk around in corners, and there's a teller, and you're going to look at him and go, I'll take you for a bit.
Oh, well, that starting kit.
Protect ring and start. Not a key item, but very nice piece of defensive gear, and I believe I saw a cat claw in there.
I did. I saw a cat claw. I also saw a black belt in there as well.
That's great for Yang. There's one small issue though, is he never really gets a whole lot of starting power, and with a teller as well, this you're really going to want to go to Hobbs and see, is there anyone that can do a little bit of damage just to get things started, get things rolling.
Absolutely. And as chat points out, 46,000 to start. With that starting kit, ranging anywhere between 20 and 80,000. That's right in the middle. That's almost average, which I'm pretty sure, considering some of the numbers we've seen in this tournament, they are very happy with that.
Yeah, and Yang also starts with a poison claw, so a little bit of extra strength as well to go along with that cat claw. So yeah, he's pretty much set for the entire game now. And it looks like Soleras is just thinking, I want a little bit of experience on this Yang. Maybe just get him going, and an easy fight in that line in Mist Cave. Gets you moving. Not much, but it's something.
It's something, and Soleras obviously grabbing the treasure chest here in Mist Cave too, and being rewarded with a glass hat right out of the gate. So not only is that Yang going to be somewhat punchy early, but he's not going to take a lot of physical damage.
Yellow!
What's wrong with the yellow? It's the only time it ever happens in the game. I love the yellow.
It's yellow. That's pretty much it. Flurry, on the other hand, did go into Watery Pass, his standard looting spot. But he did find 2 black swords, so if we find a Dark Knight Cecil just sitting around on Hobbs, he's set. He also found an Earth Hammer, which is going to be good for that Sid if you get him early.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at Fleury's side, looks like we are going straight to Hobbs to find that character. So, yeah, I would love to see a sit up here. Usually the game has different designs, and it's probably like a Porom or an Edward. Well, there we go.
Porom, strangely enough, I like Porom in this particular setting at the moment. Yes, she isn't exactly the most powerful white mage, but she's a white mage, and I always find she pairs well with Yang, better than and Rosa does. So I feel Porom here is actually a very good find. Ogopogo, on the other hand, is not.
No, that's never a great fight to see at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, we love seeing the really nasty bosses early, but usually early when you have, like, I don't know, a bit of firepower to deal with it, rather than having to sit through waves and some of the punches that are going to fly, so...
Yeah, Yang, though, is doing around 250 to 300 with a power punch, so this fight isn't bad. Teller can keep up with the healing here, and Porom can assist a little bit with the kill ones. So, yes, this fight is very much doable. It's just going to take a little bit longer, but yeah, this is fine.
Yeah. Now on Soleras' side, it looks like we got a free spy into the bed in Kaipo and saw a Radia sitting there. So possibly a future anchor, if necessary. Yes, it's an extra trip, but, you know, she has her uses.
Yeah, I like Rydia as a character, and you being able to use her for what she's good at. But I have to admit that, unfortunately, at this moment in time, the best thing for her is, unfortunately, being the anchor at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
I love when I get the chance to use her. You know, give me an early Sylph, an early Levi.
Great! That treasury!
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, she just excels so well at being level 1 on the ground that, I mean, it's kind of hard to say no to. So.
So Soleras is picking up their Porom. To be honest, yeah, we've got Porom here. Yeah, she's, as I said, not the greatest person to add on to this team. But really, you're also looking for bodies, because you're not sure entirely what your underground access is going to be yet. We've got both the hook and the magma key on the table. So taking in someone to be a body, to start leveling up ready in case the hook route happens, Porom's going to be good for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, speaking of levels, I guess this is a way to get experience is, hey, why not throw an early gauntlet in your face? So, okay.
This is where the 10 4 rages that you get in the starter kit is probably one of the saving graces. An early gauntlet is always nice when you've got them in your inventory. Sure, you usually want to save them for Pignazzo, but now's a good time to use them.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that gets you through this fight any faster, any J items you have. Usually you would love to have, I don't know, a Palom with, some level 2 spells, or I don't anything that's going to make this fight go faster, because this is going to take a minute. So.
The one small thing about the 4 rages with this particular spot is most of the enemies here are weak to ice, which is why Fleury is making use of the ice rod, which casts ice 1 for free. But the 4 rages aren't too bad.
No, not at all. But yeah, going back to what you were saying about, having bodies, obviously both of us playing this game, you run into a nasty hook route, and you usually have one or two sources of damage that, in all reality, you just don't want them to die. So, I mean, like you said, you hate to say it, but the more bodies you can throw in front of something, and the more targets that they have to attack, the better odds you are at staying alive and possibly getting through, like a Brood King or Queen Evelyn, or whatever may show its face on hook round. So.
And getting Pawn pretty much in your first fight almost guarantees that she is going to have Berserk by that hook route. Because even with a few of the reduced experience fights that you might get on the overworld, she will still reach that Berserk because she gets it very early at level 18, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like Fleury is through the gauntlet, rewarded with a pan. Not useful yet, but that definitely gives us some direction. Once we get underground, that should be a fairly quick turn-in for 3 key items.
Yeah, always nice to see that as early as possible. Well, some people will use that as a reason to not go to football. Personally, without knowing what type of access we've got at the moment, I really don't see the reason for not going to football at this moment in time, because you might find your magma key here, or your hook here.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those questionable ones. Obviously you don't want to go back and do the same place twice, 3 times. But I mean, the XP from this spot, fantastic. And like you said, if your opponent doesn't do this, and it just happens to be a magma key, while your opponent decides I'm going to go play on hook route, that can make or break a race.
We've had a fairly rude overworld though at the moment. An early gauntlet, which isn't exactly difficult but long. Ogopogo, which in this spot wasn't exactly bad because we started young with, but long. And now we've got Baigon at football.
Yeah, these are one of those. We go back to Ogopogo. It's like, these are great bosses. I love to see these bosses early, because that means they can't be at Leviathan, Bahamut, Elements, all the places that you really don't want to see these guys. But you look at your party right now, and you have a Baigon in front of you, it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Yang, though. Yang is doing a lot more work than I thought he might. I thought he might do a little bit, but not to the extent that this is. That starting strength equipment has just boosted him through the roof, through his normal ceiling at this stage of the game.
Yeah, what are we looking at? Poison Claw +3, Cat Claw +5. I believe Black Belt's also +5. So you're +13 between. That's almost 2 multipliers for Yang. That will add up. So. Yeah.
Plus, there's that protect ring thing, so he's safe in the front row, and there's that glass hat in Soleras' hands. So that Yang is taking no damage.
No, at all. You can leave him in the front row for probably the good first half of the game, and you're going to see a few 1s show up whenever he takes a hit. So. But Fleury making it through there. Let's see what the old king in bed has for us.
The answer is a tower key. So,
well,
Underworld's looking very open right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we talk about, hey, get underground and have like a direction to go. Well, or you could just have all the directions to go once you get underground. But our options are becoming a little bit limited here on choices.
Yeah, we've got ordeals, which we're going to go to anyway because Teller, and we've got Baron Inn at the moment. At this point, my preferred play is to go to Baron Inn. Yes, the fights may be a little bit harder, That second one might be a bit harder to get through, but you want the character early if you can get them.
Absolutely.
So you get that experience on ordeals for them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Or, even, hey, if you're a few fights short, maybe you turn on encounters on ordeals on the top floor, get some fights where a bomb or something of that nature will work. Get a little bit extra XP for, let's say there's a quack kid in Baron Inn, and you can't underestimate how powerful Virus is. And you want to get Virus before you go start playing around underground. Well, there's your option for it. So I definitely agree, especially with that Yang that you have. I mean, he's not... There's not a lot that's going to take him out, so Baron Inn makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and if it's a Dark Knight Cecil, you've got a black sword.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you've got two, but that will just make ordeals a little bit easier to go through because you've got someone else that can do a little bit of damage. Sure, it's not a lot, but it just exasperate the thing. Heck, 3 black swords.
I was going to say, no, yeah, you said 2. I think you meant 3 there. It's just, we had to look in the future of that one. But
yeah. Turn and Cecil into Zorro and just let him have one in his teeth as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Nice pickup for Soleras, that Elven Bow. Yeah, great weapon to find, even though it's going to, possibly be on, Porom. It can do some work with the right arrows, that's for sure.
Don't knock Porom with a bow and arrow.
No.
We have seen in this tournament how good she is with it. If you pick her up with, say, just a black belt and some elemental arrows, and you hit your weaknesses, don't knock the Porom.
Oh, no.
She is a lot better than you think she is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen that throughout the tournament. Whether it be Rosa or Porom, bow, arrows. If you happen to trip on a heroine robe, yeah, some very large numbers can come out of the small child. So
yeah, Elven bow, charm arrows, 150.
Yep.
That's with no strength boost in gear. Yeah.
In the meantime, we have a lot of orbs on the screen.
We've got 4 at the moment.
Yeah.
We did have 6.
Unfortunately, we don't have... Yeah, I'm sad to say we don't have the party composition where we could just sit there and be like, all right, I'm just going to Berserk Gang and turn them loose. And, if the globes fire, they fire. The problem is they would fire. But, we have to do this fight a little bit more traditionally with this party. But, you know what? You get through it fairly quickly, as Soleras just showed us.
Yeah, another boss that you don't really mind seeing early. It's another long fight, but it's another one that you will not have to deal with later in a high hit point spot.
Oh, like Elements. Not that would speak that into existence at all.
Having had to deal with it, and yet another boss that's you really want to see early. You don't really want to see it in this particular spot.
Oh no.
Yeah. But we very well may see the peculiarity with Odin here. Because I don't think there's enough damage coming out here.
Yeah, we always joke about Wyvern standard time. Well, Odin has his own time, and usually it's you count to 3, you see the sword go up, and your lifespan is measured in seconds. So
actually, we might see the enough damage because Porom does have Berserk. Berserk is on Yang now, and yeah, we've had a few lits. Yeah,
just enough.
Oh, that was easily in time. There was still another at least 2 punches from Yang there coming. And that's with a Center Yang having a lot of speed. So that Porom Teller aren't really that quick on the gauge.
Well, it goes back to what you were saying earlier, the power of that kid and getting Berserk a little bit sooner than, a Rosa or, Tella doesn't even learn it until, post ordeals. So
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I think Pawn really shines with a Yang, because you want Yang to be berserked whenever possible. And with that power shirt, Yang is just about to be a bit more
I was
stronger.
Gonna say, yeah, really berserk now. Are there levels of berserk can we put on? Because, oh boy, is he going to punch really hard.
Yeah, Pale Dim here, you don't want to use elementals, and Yang usually thrives off hitting the elementals, but with a Cat Claw and a Poison Claw, even Pale Dim right now isn't standing up to the Karate Man. He has shined in this seat so far.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think he's going to go anywhere anytime soon. I would not be surprised on both runners. Fleury, once he acquires the Power Robe, but also Soleras. Stick your head into a weapon shop and see if you can find, the Thunder Claw, the Ice Claw. There are still bosses out there that those do some real work against. So
yeah. And at only 550, it's not like you're breaking the bank for it. It's even with this limited amount of money that you start with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is definitely one of the better starts for Yang that I've seen. Usually it's like you said, you lean towards elemental weaknesses, and that's where he shines. But you give him enough strength boosting gear, and well, he just punches anything, regardless of element. So
yeah, with that power sash, he's now up to plus 23 strength.
Mm-hmm. And like you said earlier, to nobody's surprise, that black belt going on Poram. So
yeah, let's get her doing a bit of damage with that elven bow.
Mm-hmm.
She can do some work, especially berserked up herself.
Well, it's not a Dark Knight Cecil. It is a betrayer.
Have we actually seen any equipment for Kane? I think the only thing I've seen is a samurai armor.
There has not been much for him. So yeah, a bit rough. This is one of those. Great, I have Kane. Cool. What weapon do I have? What he started with? A spear? I don't know.
Well, we don't know what he's starting with yet, because this is Sineki. He can have anything from a spear to a fire sword.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully the roll is good and you get that fire sword. But then again, he might also come with a hand axe.
That is true. So I feel like if you're getting Kane here and you have nothing for him, it's like, could you give me, like, I don't know, but let's be greedy. Let's say an Earth Crystal. I'll take an Earth Crystal out of Baron N. That would make me happy right now.
3-second fight though. Officer soldiers, Kaipo guards. Weak on the officer. The soldiers now will just fight among themselves, because for some reason you take away the commanding officer and everything goes to whatever.
Yep.
And yeah, quick fight. Kane's in the party. Another body, at least.
Without leadership, the people don't know what to do. Wow, that's a thing. So it's a hook.
You definitely want that body.
Yeah.
So Baronin has been probably the easiest of the group here, of the group of overworld fights. But then again, the Mega Sisters, another fight that you don't want to see late out of the pool.
Absolutely, yeah. And anything with a high magic attack power spot. Mindy is not nice. Mindy can do some very rude things with those level 2 spells. So I personally, I am very happy to see them gone.
And Yang, being charmed up, decided to take out frustrations. And Kane did come with that spear, like you alluded to. But he does, Soleras has got a slumber sword, which I believe was in the starter kit. So it's a weapon. It's not a bad weapon, but it's not a good one.
No. And I feel like we're going to be possibly checking out that shop in Evelyn here to see if we could, get a small upgrade or even the treasure chests in Cave Evelyn, just because of how good they are and some of the tier loot you can find in there. You trip on a blizzard spear and life is fantastic, let me tell you.
Yeah. Possum coming out with Slumber Sword can be used for the trap chest. That's very true. Can put them to sleep, but so can the cat claw.
That is true. But yeah, it looks like Soleras heading right into the cave. Putting a save outside, that tells me probably going to open the first couple chests here. Personally, well, okay, that's variety. So this would have been useful last fight, but hey.
The oven bow covers that. The assassin dagger. Now that's an item that can be an interesting use against the trap chest, the Mad Ogre chest.
And we get our first look at the item shop. 2 guaranteed tier 5 consumables there, and looks like elixir. The more important one for this party is that Bacchus wine.
And wow, that's not a shop.
No,
that was just a
sad. That's the word I'm gonna go with. That was the equivalent of finding like an item shop with just Odin in it. It was that bad.
It's like someone just said, "Okay, these are my leftovers. I've taken everything you've got. You can have these."
So, but the important part of this, the character. Is this going to be, well, that qualifies as worth it?
Does it? I'm saying this because right now he's only a slight upgrade on Kane, because there's still no weapon, and we've still only got that one piece of samurai armor.
When I look at Cecil, I think of him as cover strats first. Yeah, he can go burn, he can do amazing things, but I feel like, okay, you have Cecil. You don't have a weapon for him. Chances are you're probably going to loot most of Evelyn going through. So you're probably going to find 1 or 2 other pieces for him. Even if he's not doing damage, he can make sure other people don't die. The Tellas, our utility mage. Yang can take care of himself. But, keeping your mages alive to fire off those berserks, the blinks, those important utility spells to get through hook route, that's important to me.
Yeah, and I think Soleras is seeing the same issue. There's a second cat claw if you want one. That he doesn't have any real good offensive options outside of that yarn. And he's coming in for some trap chest checks to see if he can pick up a weapon or Set or Kane.
I don't blame him. I mean, this is because of brackets and the way the tier looting works. Short of the lunar subterranean, this is the best place to hit a tier 7. You are looking at a 40% shot out of a chest to hit a tier 7. So if you do the math and you do all 3 chests, you're hovering right in that 90% range. You're gonna hit 1. And Cecil can use 4 of them. So Artemis, Avenger, Excal, and a Crystal Sword. So, I mean, you're playing pretty good odds here. And, the XP is nice too.
Yeah. The other thing I think is you've got instead of having the one shot with the upper tower of Babel or with the 4 Mad Ogre chests, Soleras is just opening up his options here and coming to coming into Castle Evelyn. There's 3 trap chests here, plus the 2, plus the one in upper tower of Babel, and possibly the one in Cave Evelyn. So maximum of 5 shots instead of just hoping on the 1.
Well, that was the tier 7. It wasn't the one we were looking for. So about that Rydia.
Still need the sound ruby for that, and it's not showing up right now.
No, kind of sad by that, but I think Soleras is done with that, and let's see if Soleras actually goes through and grabs the rest of the chests here. I mean, that cat claw, I mean, that puts Yang full. You're not touching Yang the rest of the seed. Yang is, in all reality, done. The only thing I possibly would consider, you talked about one item for Cecil. Steal the glass helm. Put that on Cecil.
Yeah, I agree. A glass hat on to Cecil with that samurai armor. Give him something as for his starter, for his weapon, and if you've got one, a shield.
Yep.
And then just let him sit in the back row and just cover. Yes,
everything.
It's a Mylon variant that we're going up against. If it's Mylon Z, he'll be able to take everything going that Mylon Z will be able to take.
Yep. And you see on Fleury's side, you were just talking about that, crystal armor and an Aegis shield on Fleury's Cecil. So well on his way to just laughing off any damage that's going to come his way.
One of the good things about the Cell Zero, that crystal armor, you can't sell it. You might as well keep it for a rainy day. It's pouring outside right now.
Yeah, I mean, racing in Swiss, it's like, crystal armor. Yes, it, prevents you from berserking Cecil, but I mean, it has its uses. It does make great cover armor. And like you said, when you can't sell it for anything here, lean on it as long as you can. Absolutely. So, and
you know what? I'm liking that. I'm liking that item that he started with as well as a weapon.
What did he start with?
He started with a drain sword.
Oh, that could be fun.
Right now, I would actually put that onto Kane and give Cecil the slumber sword. Make Kane. Kane's not the slowest, sure, but but right now he might be better as an anchor to let Teller go a little bit quicker. Be that utility that he does best.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad idea. Fleury said, I did see a grimoire fire and rewarded sadly with just a lunar staff. It's not terrible. It's not bad for a Polrom, but it's not that tier 7 we're looking for. But at least it's useful.
Yeah, but when you find two silent staffs in a row and just sitting there, do you really want a lunar staff?
Yeah.
Second grimoire though might give you another trap chest finish.
I saw Gungnir come out of that pot, and I think Soleras may have faded that pot.
He did.
Yeah.
He only did the right-hand side.
Yeah. So that's definitely going to come in handy for Fleury.
Borum's going to be throwing out the mute arrows with that archer bow.
And on the left side looks like, right side, Soleras. Yeah, in terms of hook route, this is one of the easier hook routes that we're going to see.
Yeah, Dr. Lugay is doable. This isn't the...
I mean, it's not an evil wall.
Yeah.
It's not Biden. I mean,
Boundnap takes a while.
Lot worse.
Yeah, Boundnap takes a while to actually start punching you because Dr. Lugay wants to talk. And this second fight with him, with this form having about 1,500 to 2,000 hit points, the laser, which is the main damage source for him, isn't really going to do a whole lot. It's still a lot against this particular amount of hit points, but it's not. It's still only single target.
And when you use the Bacchus line on Young and he's punching for 1,000 at a time, yeah, it's gonna be a short fight. So Soleras through phase 1, and you know, do you save? Do you spend the 15 seconds to save here, or do you just go for
I
it?
think yes, you do. But Soleras does have an ace in the hole, strangely enough, for this particular fight. If this is Mylon Z, heck, even Mylon and Friends, he has a Fire Claw, while I believe Flurry does not. And one thing about both of them fights is there are enemies weak to fire.
Unfortunately, on Flurry's side, we get to see the cats in action. Everybody that's fought this loves and hates this fight for one very exact reason. If you do not kill those cats in one shot, that bluster can ruin your day.
But he did get the weaker of the two, which is the paralyzed, not the instant death.
Yes. So this is the reward I'm curious about. So we've seen a tier 7, so the odds have already played out. Will we see another?
We might.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think we've got a very, very cold room on our hands.
So what were we saying earlier about that cover Cecil?
You still have him. You still have him. He's just able to actually do some damage. Yeah, you're not going to berserk him, and if he's going to stick with that crystal armor. But I actually expect I actually expect him to stay crystal sword, crystal armor, just attack manually with him for the moment.
Yeah,
and have him available to cover as well. You've got the best of both worlds right now.
And as Antidale, alludes to, about that lack of a fire claw. I got you. I get one up that. Hold my beer.
Yeah, so simply put, the advantage that Soleras did have just got null and voided just by a simple trap chest in Castle Weblin.
It's that power of tier 7. I mean, the percentages are so good. And when you have a character that if you hit one, it's 50-50 that he can use it. I love the play. I do. And, for Flurry, it paid off.
It did cost him a bit of time. Because Soleras has now got through Mylon Z and is heading into the underworld. Flurry still has to go through both fights, but Flurry has that sort of late game catch up. As a possibility now.
And we talk about it a lot when we see racers and you pick up a huge power spike item like that crystal sword. Yeah, it takes time to get it, but you are going to see it pick up time very quickly going through boss fights. So, yeah, we see Soleras hit the ground at 36-18. That lead is going to shrink, and it's going to shrink very fast.
Oh. Ooh, we know what's at the top of the tower now. And that is an objective. That was a Sora.
Useful bit of information to have.
Yeah, and we do have the tower key, so I would expect this lower tower of Babel with both spots to be completed quicker than you might think of on a normal seed.
Especially because you have a tower key. Usually you see that boss, right? You don't have a tower key. Yes, it's an objective. Are you going to go all the way up the tower for it, or are you going to do, for example, your Pan, your Dwarf Castle check, your freebie? It changes your routing when you have that tower key in your inventory. And yes, it is an objective, which just makes it even more valuable to, as Soleras is showing us, just go do it right now.
Yeah. 2 sources of blink as well, with both Purim and Teller having the spell. So this Asura, if we wall her up, she's going to be pretty much healing you and not really doing a whole lot of damage in return. It doesn't hit hard here really anyway, but we've also got a Cecil that can cover.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's get a little cheeky with this. You know, I talked about not touching Yang. Well, let's take off that power shirt. Let's take off the bandana. Let's throw him on Porom with an elven bow and mute arrows. Let's berserk her up and cover her and let her go to town on Asura.
Sounds like a very good idea.
I like this idea.
Flurry, though, deciding the crystal sword just isn't worth it at the moment, just sticking with the drain sword on Cecil, working just as well as it should do, and is through the first part of Dr. Lugay, just about to be poisoned to the knees, and yeah, this fight shouldn't be too bad, especially with that Gungnir also doing a bit of work for Kane.
But, you know, Cecil decided to rear his head, and hey, there's a quick 3,000 damage for you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, Flurry's going to look at this, and before he knows it, Mylon's is just going to be crumbling.
Yeah, I was going to say, hey, Poydrak, you think Flurry's going to go back and save?
No.
I don't think so.
No, there's no chance. Yeah, Cecil has this fight in the bag already, and is just going to wave the crystal sword in front of Mylon and just go, I've got this, and Mylon's going to shake in terror and then crumble to the ground.
Yep. There goes the berserk on Cecil. This is what we call a 3-round fight. And a 1.
He was doing quad 9s without the berserk. You don't need the berserk, it's just making the fight go quicker.
Right. You know, the things that we would love to see in Free Enterprise, break damage limit. Let's see how much Cecil could really do. Not
Quint 9s, unfortunately. You want to see it, but I believe the game engine just literally won't handle it.
I mean, that also works in reverse, too. I mean, we'd all love to see what Wyvern could really throw out at certain spots, too, you know?
Just a little bit over 40,000.
You know, the overkill's never a bad thing. Nah, it's fine. So yeah, Flurry through on the ground. Looks like about 4 minutes behind right now. So we'll see if Flurry decides to go to do the immediate tower play.
Yeah. Most importantly now for Soleras is really just get through this fight as quickly as possible, and Purim is doing Purim things.
Yeah, those mute arrows, personally, probably my favorite arrow of the bunch. They are just so useful in the right circumstances.
I think he's actually got Elven Bow Samurai, but that pretty much does the same thing. Yeah, Elven Bow is also great against mages.
And not surprised at all that Flurry is gonna go straight up the tower here.
But you've got the power you need. A crystal sword, Gungnir, Yarn's hitting very well. Flurry also has the Elven Bow or mute arrows, whichever one he wants to use. So he's fully ready for this particular fight. Right, Soleras knew he could do it, so he went straight up as well. It's going to take him a little bit longer, but he's perfectly fine with that.
And looks like using the Star Veil to get the reflected wall onto Asura. Yeah, there's nothing worse. You know, you do some damage to Asura, and all of a sudden you see that Cure 4 fire, and you're just like, really right now?
Flurry making a quick stop off in the cannon room, finding Mylon.
Well, well, about that.
So He, the second, the first form of Mylon is going to be out of the way.
Mm. That Grimoire, though, did not... oops.
Eh,
That's okay.
you always like to see Chocobo.
Yeah, I mean, like Chad says, you can't hit with every Grimoire, right? Because that'd be cheating. You can't just have Bahamut and Leviathan all the time, like... But, Soleras rewarded with a Baron Key for beating Asuras, so, overworld direction. So we have a lot of places we can go.
Yeah, character check is the most important one there. We've got our boss out of the way. A finding character check is pretty much what you want, so I wouldn't be surprised if Wolf Castle was on the table very soon.
Mhm.
That Baron and Key is going to be definitely on the cards. The pan is likely going to be the next check, though, after the tower.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're still looking for Pinktail, two pieces of forge, the twin harp.
Away to the moon.
There's still, away to the moon, way to get to the Romus. There's still a lot of this race still to go.
Yeah, no, usually, and, but obviously, you run this game as well. That pan does change your routing a little bit. Usually you come down here and the idea is, in all reality, if you can take Dwarf, you probably do Dwarf first. Just in the chance that, hey, maybe you get the pan from Dwarf. You do your shopping, check out Tamra, go get your freebie out of the march. And hopefully between those two spots, maybe you get the pan out of it. But when you come down here and you already have it, okay, maybe you do things a little bit differently this time around.
Yeah. As much as finding the pan is great on the overworld outcome when you're coming down, it actually plays a sort of problem in your routing, because if you're wanting to check it, get those 3 checks done, you've got to go to the overworld again and then come back down to do the rest of the underworld. So do you do that, sacrifice that little bit of time, or do you do the entirety of the underworld, what you can, before going up to check the two items at Sheila, and lose a bit of time possibly to your opponent that way?
Oh, well. That's a decision we're going to see here soon, but, well...
With
all
the,
right,
with the twin harp, I think you go up.
Yeah, I would say let's spin this a different direction now. Now you have the Baron Key and the harp to go up as well, Sheila 1 and 2. Do you do the rest of the underground?
You do the pan checks, you go do the music, you then go do Baron.
Yeah.
You do these freebies, you go do your objective. It's the 1-2 punch of free enterprise. Do your freebies, do your objectives. So freebies here.
Oh.
Objective, especially when it's that, and then you go and check one more, or for your one more objective instead at Baron.
We got the pan early, and it was okay. Great, we have direction. Then you got the tower key, and you're like, cool, we have more direction. Now we have a darkness crystal. Now you have all the direction. It's like, choose where you want to go. Choose. It's like those choose your adventure books. It's like, where would you like to go? And then you turn the page and you find out you die some horrible, ugly death. But yeah, the world is pick your poison. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
I don't like this open option, but it's. I don't know where I'd go actually right now. I think I'd just stick with what I just did, what I just stated. Go and do your objective. Go and do your character checks. And this Fame Marsh, these chests in just 3 chests have been amazing. Black belt, headband, dwarf axe, and a defense sword. Yeah,
so Kane is now fully online from the back row, so that is fantastic to see. So
and actually, for Soleras, that's a possible weapon for Cecil.
Yes, very much so.
So he's got something that he can actually do damage with,
Mm-hmm.
other than Yarn and Porum.
And to Soleras' credit, obviously, yeah, check the bosses here. Yeah, they may not be an objective, but you know, you're not going to turn down a freebie. You know, see a King Queen Evelyn sprite maybe. Hey, look at that! There, all I have to do is just speak things into existence, and they appear. So there you go. You're welcome.
The one on the right as well, Dark Knight Cecil. That's possible as well. Yarn should be able to handle the majority of the dark waves. I think he can get away with just maybe a 1 cure 2 to stay alive in that.
I believe at that spot you're somewhere in the neighborhood of the 600 range.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
You fire a cure 2 off right after that first one, and yeah, Yang probably be the only one alive, but all you need is one to live through it.
670 to 804. It's a little bit harder then, but you'll be getting a little bit of experience from this King Queen Evelyn, so he'll have around 1700 hit points, maybe 1800. So, and he might have something that does a bit more healing than a cure 2. So I still think that's possible to finish there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Flurry has not gone to Fey Marsh at all. Going to do that objective in the Twin Harp. Is missing out on that Darkness Crystal, but I'm pretty sure he'll be going back to there once he gets the opportunity.
And, you know, I don't blame him. I mean, I've run plenty of bracket seeds, and the amount of times that I have seen music pay off double, it's tragic, to the point that if I see a harp, usually I just assume there's something behind it I need. So I don't mind this play from Fleury at all.
Yeah, but now is the time that we need to keep talking and just comment on how Soleras is going to win this fight against Dark Knight Cecil. What?
But,
I'm just hearing Gambit in my ear saying he's going to mute me if I do keep talking. So
yeah, no, we're not supposed to talk during music. That's newspaper territory. We don't do that. So
sorry, you're going to not hear me.
240, a lot of music. Nobody's heard them all, except for probably Calm Lamity. But enjoy the music.
Now that Dark Elf has interrupted the music, I have no idea what that was. So up to you, chat, to find out.
It sounded like Mario Kart to me. It brought back memories of racing.
But yeah, Dark Elf just saying I don't care about the other changing my appearance. I'm just going to go at you again.
Yeah, right. Only a Drain Spear from the reward, but I feel like that's going to come in play. And I have a reason for it. We saw Soleras leave because those dark waves, they fire and they fire and they fire, and usually you just die. Unfortunately, with our current party composition, we don't exactly have the correct anchoring to make this work. that Drain Spear may do something for Fleury if Fleury decides to take a peek at the march and maybe take a swipe at it.
Yeah. The one thing about how Soleras fought that fight, though, he did go in with battle speed 1 or 2. He didn't put it all the way down, so really the fight was a lot harder because of that. If he had to put it on Wyvern Standard Time, he would have had time to actually throw out them Cure 2s and keep Yarn alive. But he's deciding, I'll give it one attempt at this. I don't have to mess around with my battle speed. If I don't get it, I'll just move on to Dwarf Castle, where he is now, and fight the bosses there and see what the character is.
And, you know, I'm not going to say it's a bad hill to die on. I mean, obviously racers, when you're racing, you kind of pick your poison, like, okay, am I really going to spend a lot of time on this, or am I going to go find something else to do? And you have a Twin Harp in your hand. And you have Sheila 1 and 2 waiting for you. And you have Baron Castle waiting for you. So...
yeah,
right
now...
for leaving.
Yeah, right now, what he's doing is, I'm just going to finish what the Sudden Dwellers has given me. If Night Cecil isn't required, I'm just going to hope it's not one of the things that is going to stop me from actually finishing this. Right. Say the Adamant or the Legend Sword.
I was going to lean at half a Forge on that one, because, yeah. Oh, hi, there's a door. Hi, there's an Ed. There goes an Ed.
Dancing Dagger.
Long.
Dancing Dagger Edward. Yeah, I don't think it's going to save him, but Dancing Dagger Edward.
Oh, well, there's half a Forge. That was the Legend Sword from Sheila 1.
And weapon for Cecil.
I don't know if I go that far.
We have seen it used.
We have, but I feel like that Crystal Sword's never coming off.
Oh, it's not, but
well, okay, unless there's an adventure, and then maybe it'll come off, but now we're just being greedy.
We can wish. We can hope that we never see one, so he has to do other things.
I try not to be too greedy when I wish things for runners. Like, no, but yeah, you love the keys of the kingdom. Just here you go. You know, everything free and clear, but you got to work for it a little.
Soleras, so taking out that Kenyat, so Yarn decided just to batter him into the ground, and an evil wall was simply torn down.
What do you think she's wearing around her neck today? What do you think she's got? Is she wearing a box? Maybe a package?
Who knows? We're just about to find out.
How about a green crystal?
It's
a thing.
It's a bit of jade. It's a bit of jewelry.
I like jade. I also think for Soleras, this is wonderful. Okay, I'll ask you. I'll pose you the question. Given Soleras' current, call it inventory equipment, whatever you want to, however you want to spin it, do you loot the treasury?
I think he's got to, because I think he needs a second weapon, and he's got that defense sword, but he doesn't have anything other than that. So I think he's either got to or hope that he gets adds another character in Zot and ditches the cane.
That's fair. That's fair. I would go. I look at his party and what he has, and yeah, like you said, a better weapon. I'm looking for a lightsaber. I would not be sad about probably a crystal ring in there as well.
I'll take a white spear. A white spear. A white spear is still possible in that treasury.
Now we're getting back to that whole greedy thing again. I'm not going that far. He can live with a defense sword, okay? He can have Cecil's hand-me-down when he gets a lightsaber, but...
Actually, I'd rather keep Cecil with the defense sword than give him the lightsaber. Honestly,
Really?
yeah. Uh, the thing about Arcane is, although he gets, there are points where his strength growth, his hit point growth, is better than Cecil's. It was level to level. For the majority, and his speed is always better than Cecil's. For the majority of it, Cecil is higher in strength, vitality, and hit points than Kane is.
I can see the argument. Okay, you know, the joke was funny once. I don't know if it's funny twice.
It's always funny.
What do you do? Hitch a ride on the whale? No, Ed, go away. Well, I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to hide on the whale.
He's doing his best Rosa and Video impression.
Yeah. No, Ed, you can stay on the moon. Forever.
Either that or he decided to actually, he put on a beard, tried to be one of the dwarfs, failing that, tried to be Fusoya.
I don't know. No, I'm trying to imagine Ed as no, that doesn't work. I feel like he'd try and he'd still carry the harp around and that'd be a dead giveaway.
But he could hide it in his beard. It's still strumming, so you'd hear it in plain as day, but because he's Edward, he can't help it.
That is a profound beard, let me tell you. And Fleury going
Have you
right.
seen Fu?
That is true. Yeah, he does
And
look like a pile of hair on the ground. So
and the first option was a dwarf. Dwarfs are known for their beards.
That's fair. That's fair. Fleury going right by the treasury. I'm not surprised.
No,
I have a crystal sword.
He's got a crystal sword. He's got he's got that. No, he hasn't gotten to Famous yet, so he hasn't got that defense sword.
But he will.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say you have a crystal sword. You can rob Yang blind, steal all the plus strength boosting gear, and yeah, you are kind of a one-man show at this point. So
the thing is, strength gear hasn't been in short supply. We've seen plenty of black belts. We've seen in headbands. We've seen in a power shirt. The only thing we're missing really is Zeus Gauntlet or Strength Ring, or a second Yang to beat up.
Mm-hmm. Which this will be very short-lived. So Yang, punch, kick, take a swipe at him, and yeah. I feel like the script would be a lot funnier if it was like a spell that hit him where he did ouch. Because boy, can he not take a spell to save his life.
Yeah, to actually get him out of a charm, you have to charm him again.
Yeah, right?
You have to pull him at that point.
So let's
I'm not
see,
sure she gets charmed naturally, actually.
Well, that's a superior white mage.
Yes.
It's HP growth, and you can't talk me out of it. If this comes down to a two party member fiasco, give me Cecil and Rosa any day of the week. Oh, well.
You know, I'd actually keep Corum and lose Teller.
It's an interesting idea. Oh,
And
but we have more music.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with music first.
Yeah, we'll go with music.
So, Dark Elf has interrupted the music again, and Flurry is through Plague. Going back to why I would take a news teller is mostly because Porum's already mostly online. Right? She's got Berserk, she's got a lot of her little things. She's going to get to Cure 4 eventually. She's very close. She was very close to Cure 3. Rosa's going to catch up very early, very quickly. And with that particular team right now, you don't care about agility anchoring. You really don't. So take the two white mages and just go from there.
I could see that.
That would be my reasoning for it. You don't. What's Taylor going to do? Increase your grinding speed? It's not going to be by that much if you do any type of grind in these flags conditions.
Well, okay, there's kind of an exception. I'll get to that in a second. But Soleras, we called it. Gonna open that treasury.
Raise that treasury!
It's something.
You know, the edge now becomes a question for Soleras, but the big one I think out of there is a moon veil. I love having one moon veil. It makes quite literally anything free when you have Cecil in your party.
Definitely,
as long as it's physical, so you're good. I don't disagree with the whole non-anchor thing. The only thing I like Tele for, because he's a utility mage, having both sides of the spells, weak. Weak does shorten your. If you are there's sirens on the moon. If you're gonna do a dragon grind, weak does cut the time down.
Does it? Because you've got to get round to him again, and you berserk up a Cecil, though with a crystal sword.
Yeah,
he's taken enough swings to get round to Teller again.
I mean, in a perfect world, I'd like to think that all runners would realize that and just put down the controller, let Cecil do his thing, and just have a life 1 potion ready to go on whichever one dies first. I don't see that often. That's kind of like berserking against CPU and letting the chips fall where they may. You don't see that often either. So I'm of two minds about it. I can see it going either way. I don't mind running without an anchor, but I can see the use for Tele.
There's plenty of ways you could go around with this particular party. There's so much option. So many options actually on the table. Double white mage. Do you want a utility and a white mage? Do you want on triple Zerker? Do you want quad Zerker? Do you want on just duo Zerker? There's so much available to you because of all the gear we've found, because of the characters we've found. It's difficult to say this is the perfect team because there isn't one.
I'll say this to your point. You were absolutely right. If, example, like Soleras went to the moon, saw the ad, reset, came back, right? If Soleras had checked the item shop up there and had seen sirens, that tele goes away. Because all of a sudden, now you're doing eggs because of your key item total. Chances are your grind's going to be on Earth.
Yeah.
So at that point, you just blow up eggs, and who cares about your anchor? That doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah, and Flurry did go to there after.
Exactly. So if Fleury had that information, you're right, probably Tella goes away. So I agree with that.
Soleras does have another source of eggs available, though. Picking up that edge, that Murasame that was in the treasury, going immediately on. So he's got a fairly competent team. He doesn't have the crystal sword, but he's got defense sword Cecil with some middling into okay equipment on edge and Yang. And he's kept Porum over Rosa and kept that Teller.
Yeah. Interesting choice. Like you said, though, I mean, you're going from a white mage that has spells to one that, well, doesn't. And with how tight money usually is in this fly set, I mean, yeah, you could go buy Bacchus wine. But in Soleras' case, Soleras hasn't seen Sirens yet. So do you really want to spend your money on, dessert wine for your party, and all of a sudden come across Sirens and be like, oh, I can't afford these things. Uh-oh. So yeah, holding on to Porum, yeah, it makes sense.
I'm wondering if he's just banking on that single siren as well. You get one or two sirens at the start of the game in the starter kit. Today we started with one, but he's got 3 coffins. Using that one siren to summon some warlocks on the moon, and there's 3 of them. Yeah. Coffin, life, coffin, life, coffin.
Yeah,
and with 10 key items, that's 172,000 experience.
Yep, that can definitely put a dent in just about anything, any spells you're looking for or anything of that nature. So, but on Fleury's side, Fleury, well, we know who that is.
That is objective number 5.
Oh, I was gonna say it's Mega Man.
It's that as well, but it's also Sid.
That's what happens when Mega Man lets himself go. Doesn't shave for a few days, gets that shadow, and then it's like, I'm just gonna let it grow out. And
if the box art Mega Man.
Yep. And Soleras right on Fleury's heels, so coming right into Baron. So we'll get to see Mega Sid again.
Before he definitely he goes back to somewhere in the ether and says,
let's give these guys a decision. Let's put a sand ruby here in the Baron basement, and let's see if anybody wants that Rydia.
Rydia has done a whole lot of work. Let her sleep. Excalibur, Soleras is going to like this. Look at that.
Huge for Soleras. That is going to be wonderful. For those that don't know, in Bracket Flag Set, because we have Classic Forge on, okay, it's mainly more the fact that all of us have robbed the guy in the Forge blind. We steal everything on his bookshelf every time we go down there. He doesn't like us very much. So he's decided he's going to keep the Excal going forward. He gave it away.
He even tells you it. Yeah. I'm going to keep it.
Yeah. He hawked it. He gave it away to some traveling salesman, and it ended up somewhere in the world. So there is your Excal in the pool. It somehow made its way into the Baron basement. I have no idea how.
It was to be delivered to Cecil, but he wasn't there. He'd made its way to Epland somehow.
Care of Cecil, and when you go check on UPS, it says deliver, and you're like, well, where's my package?
It was in the trash can.
Yeah, exactly.
So Flurry now in that Feymarsh, just about to go and see King and Queen Evelyn, look at them and just go, sure. And then that and then that Dark Knight Cecil, his levels are a little bit better right now. He's going to easily survive that with your 2,000 hit points.
Yep. Get some levels on Rosa, queue up a cure, whatever you have access to, and that's, it's a done deal.
So both are equal in objectives now. Just looking for that adamant or that pink tail.
Well,
We
I
haven't
know
seen
why.
demist yet, have we?
No, and I think we know what we're all wishing. That, of course, they're on the moon. Or, do we have anything that can lead to a double chase here? Not really. So, I mean, demons could be on the giant.
Well, technically, actually, we do.
Okay, let's hear it.
Luca key. Because there's an item at the end. If demist is there,
well,
having the other one.
Yeah, but that's still only one item, though.
Yeah, but it's still you've got to do both technically to get there. You've got to beat demist, and you've got to pick up the item.
Yeah, but you've still got access to one other item somewhere in the world. It'd be a lot more fun if it was like a Baron key, where you have 2 key items locked behind it, and it was like D.Mist into Baron key, and Baron had the pink tail and the adamant.
Yeah, but we've got to make do with what we've got, and we don't have a lot left.
Yeah. Let's just put something rude at Ogo Pogo and lock one of them behind there, and we'll call it a day. So, Stardust Rod on Fleury side, fantastic. It's a stat stick for who exactly?
Teller?
Can it be thrown? Can we use it as a... Can Edge throw it? Does it do something? I don't think it flies very well.
I'm just trying to think of... going back to your thing about let's put something rude at Ogo Pogo. And I'm thinking the rudest thing we can put there right now is Rubicante.
I love... Especially in this party composition, I love it when people think that they can just sit there and swing at Ruby. It's like, the counters won't hurt.
They will.
Try Ruby at that spot, and you'll learn a lesson or two.
Yeah.
It's not a good time.
Yeah, they hit... You don't expect it, but they hit for 400 to 500 a turn, a hit, and you die very quickly, even at high levels.
Yep. But, chat brings up a valid point. Unfortunately, Ruby is taking a bath in the waterfall.
Darn.
So, yeah, sad face.
Then we'll just have to put Golbez there.
There we go. Yep. Yang, all you need is 1 HP when you're done, and there you go. Soleras, unfortunately, Baron Basement, not paying off, just Leviathan.
So what do we find now behind Dark Knight Cecil? We have a bit of a dialogue. This
concerns me. This concerns me. Like, the moon is a hard fate in the moon, and this is go mode. Like, eek. Nope. We're safe.
And for Flurry, that's a completely useless item because he has thrown away the edge.
Yes.
So Soleras going up to the moon, got that one siren, just about to find a few more. Likely going to do a little bit of a grind. I'd actually like to say that we'll put them on even footing at the moment, and I'd say Flurry with that crystal sword still has a little bit of an advantage, but the Excel on Soleras' side sort of makes up for it, and he's to the moon quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. Flurry obviously stopping here. I'm guessing Baron Basement is going to be in the future. So, yeah, I mean, if Soleras can hit go mode on whatever first check he does,
it's going to be bottom up. You're looking for 2 key items here. You're not looking for bosses, as bottom sounds really good right now, and you're going to go do a grind with some of with these sirens that you've got.
Well, and to your point, going bottom up as well, the experience down there is also no joke. I mean, 200,000 from the lunar/ribbon room. You do a couple spots down there, and your grind time is cut down a little bit. So.
Yeah. This is why I sort of like the single siren actually as well. Just doing a siren on those warlocks, and then if you're going to do the bottom anyway, hey, that 200,000 experience in the lunar spot, combined with that's pretty much your levels anyway.
You're getting people into the low mid 40s, and at that point they're pretty much online. Yeah, you'd like to be a little bit higher for the end game, but it's very functional at that point. So
the only downside is Purim likely won't be up to Cure 4 at that point with that just those two. But I think she with the power that we've got on this team in Cecil, Young, Edge, between those three, being Berserkers, Aromas, you don't really care too much about the healing.
Right.
Especially with Paul with a heroin robe at the moment anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but those heals coming out are not going to do very much at all. So, chat pointing out something very valid. This fight with Fleury is taking a little bit longer. Still on Wyvern standard time. So, a little bit slower. I mean, he'll get through it just fine. But yeah, I mean, how many races have we seen by less than a minute in this tournament? So these seconds add up.
I like this play with Soleras here. He's not going to the D-Lunar room, he's gone to the plague spot. The reason being, he's got 9 key items. If this is a key item, he's ready for his grind. So this is a very nice play here. Just hoping on an extra little bit of luck to find what one he needs.
There's no worse feeling. There isn't than doing the ribbon first and then coming back and doing this and be like, if I just done this first.
Especially with such a free fight in Bahamut.
Mm-hmm.
Lentella just put up some walls just to make sure the people that need the levels stay up, Purim, Cecil, and if Bahamut goes down before the Mega Nuke, all the better.
Here's our deviation. Fleury is gonna check Cave of Value.
Interesting. Wonder if he's going to do his grind now. He does have that spoon, so he does have 10 key items.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible he's just going to do his grind and go from on top down.
Oh, speaking of free, that qualifies. 42,000 HP of I don't care because 3 swings and you go away anyways. That's not a bad thing.
This moon is pretty much shaping up to how we sort of expected with how the overworld on the Earth was.
Oh, wow. More free.
Having seen so many difficult bosses on Earth, to find Bahamut, Warthog, and now Leviathan, you don't really care about these fights.
No, it's that joke about, we see Baigan, we get all these great bosses out of the way early, and it's like, well, what's that leave on the moon? Well, a lot of them that, usually end up being pretty easy in the right spot. And if my eyes didn't deceive me on Soleras' side, that was the Zeus Gauntlet and a pass.
No, that was a tiara and a pass.
Tiara and a pass, okay.
But still not 10 key items.
No.
And that's 3 whammies he's had so far. So Fleury is play at the moment is looking better all the time.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not against that pass, though, because that does save you a full walk. Because, yes, your go mode's on Earth, but you gotta come back.
Yeah, and if Soleras finds a item here, his grind is going to be a little bit shorter, and he's going to have a shorter route to Zeromus.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's about the rudest thing you could put there.
Yeah, that is a terrible place for a cactus.
That is a horrible place to put that there. Well, okay.
As for Demist, it's a horrible place, yes, but you don't mind it because as long as you can get those blinks up, you're fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
of course, poor punching Demist does not help.
No. A lot of people, you see this fight and it's just like, ugh. But you have that window to sit there and get your party set up, the blinks and everything before, now get ready, a fight comes back up.
And Zoe brings up a very good point, and it comes back to what you said you like from that treasury.
The Moon Veil. Yeah, just put Cecil online with cover, drop everyone down at a critical HP, and the fight's free.
Yeah, let everyone fall at least once, get them up, and just
you
take it.
I don't know if you couldn't do it anyways, but you could berserk Edge and Yang. Well, you won't want to do that though, because now just hold A, and turn it off at the right times.
And here comes the use for the coffins.
That's not nice. Berserk people, then when it turns out miss, just kill them. Oh, that's horrible. But
it's a perfectly viable strategy. If you don't have a uniform, the next best thing is a coffin.
It is.
Mob Bomb in the Pale Dim spot, the Murasame altar. We're not going to see an explosion.
No, with Cecil doing 5,000 a swing, no. So yeah, this just comes down to which check pays off here.
And this Ogo Pogo spot could have both of them. Mm-hmm. One being behind Demist, the other one being behind the altar itself.
Yeah. But there's that failed explosion on Fleury's side. Let's see. Was top down the play this time? I don't know. It's one of those where you sit there and it's that judgment of, is it worth it for me to go chase it? Do I go save scum it? And I put my tournament life on that.
That's a very difficult question. Fleury is saying no.
Yeah.
And I would personally say no as well.
There's a lot of checks still up here. I mean, you're looking at, 5 key items that you haven't touched yet versus 1.
Yeah.
It's really good when the 1 pays off, though.
Yeah, if he had the pass, I think he would say, let's check it.
Come it and check it. I could see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But without it...
No. But on your flip side, and of course I was going to say this, and then I just read what Zoe wrote, you save scum this. Because you have the pass in D-Dot missed.
Oh, yeah. Soleras is going back to Earth immediately up to check this afterwards.
Go put your save down and, get out of here.
And if you get the item from this, you get your grind going and you go.
Now I really leave. Because now it's 2.
Two checks.
Yep.
Both of the key items are running low here. Yep. They're the key item checks are running low. You go check this.
You're gone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Fleury now is doing the two checks that Soleras has already done and before going to do that demist, which is going to take a while as well. So Soleras has got time.
Yeah. And that pass is going to cut it down. So if one of these pays off, I mean, you're in that Z fight in no time. So
Yeah.
you throw out a few eggs and yeah.
And if he's going to the Earth, he doesn't have any way of really speeding up a Warlock grind or a Gold Dragon grind. So it's likely when he comes down here, if he gets one of these items, the Adamant or the Pink Tail, he's just going to do eggs, which are going to be very easy for Cecil just to go bonk bonk with that egg scale, get through them.
Yep, absolutely. And it's we'll give Soleras, a little leeway here. It's late. Flying airship is hard, so don't worry about that mountain range. It's fine.
That mountain range had it coming. It came out of nowhere.
Oh, well, now that's nice. Now your anchor is online.
Do you change it for... Well,
that's...
Do you spend the time to go out and do it when you know the rat tail is coming?
No, you obviously, you check the rat tail immediately.
Yeah,
but
I don't think he takes the time to go and get that Rydia. I think he's happy with that teller being down. I think Rydia can stay asleep. She's earned it.
Yeah, I mean, you have that edge that's going to be RA1, obviously. Yeah. And, if you're going to berserk everyone, maybe you see Soleras go buy some more Bacchus wines, and you just turn them all. Wow. Wow. Empty? Are you kidding? It's Wyvern.
Wyvern
is
or
sitting
that
at Wyvern. Or that Luca key. But the Luca key can only lead to one.
This is bad for Flurry.
So the other one has to be at Wyvern.
Yeah. This is bad for Flurry because Flurry is going to go to that demist. Going to go through it. Going to go and do those same 2 checks that Soleras did.
He'll probably do Luca too while he's down there. Because why wouldn't you while you're down there?
Yeah, so he is going to get it eventually, but he's got to go through Luca to do it.
Yeah. I mean, at least he'll have the pass. So that's, that'll shorten that, but...
Yeah, but Soleras just has to do this one fight, and he's going to have that item.
Here.
So...
Oh, hi, Val. I wonder when she's going to show up.
Yeah, so demist here is a really, really big red herring of a wall. A lot of hit points, slow fight, and nothing behind it, just a wall.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the good part for Fleury, it will direct him to, go mode and finish in the game, but unfortunately, Soleras has already done it, and what Soleras is currently fighting is also leading to go mode and the game. So. Wow.
Yeah. Flurry does have levels. Can't put it past him. No, Zoe's absolutely correct here. Flurry does have the levels, but Soleras has got this fewer checks, and this spot isn't exactly bad for experience as well. So that Cecil is likely going to be about level 44 at the end of this. Just a couple more eggs, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And because like I said, Bacchus is available via the hook route, so you go buy 5 of those, and your final fight, you can pretty much script the final fight how it's going to go. So.
And X-Scale Cecil is not Crystal Sword Cecil, but it's still mighty powerful, especially with a power shirt that they've got on Cecil right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, either sword gets the job done. It's just a matter of which one is faster. So.
And the answer to which one it is
the Rock.
So Soleras is going to have the Cocoa shop available. So if there's anything nice in there,
Mm-hmm.
he might be able to pick it up. It depends on how much money he's got left.
No, it hasn't done dragons, but has done everything on the... Might be able to afford one item?
The thing about the moon is it doesn't give money. The boss spots do not give money. The fights do. The boss spots don't. And he hasn't done any actual normal encounters with those sirens. He's just done the bosses.
Yeah. We'll see if Soleras actually goes into the menu here and see how much.
Looks like he's spending that. He's deciding that money is better spent on a couple of wine, which I completely agree with.
Mm-hmm. Like it makes the final fight so much easier. You're not waiting on your white mages to cast Berserk. It's plus, use an item and you go.
Yeah. Plus, this is a good thing of him saying, "How much money do I have left after this? None. Right.
None.
No need to check the Cocoa shop at all. There's nothing in there I can afford. Straight away, get the item, go."
Yep. So Poydrak, I have a question to ask you. It's a very important question. Are we going to rob the old man?
I think Soleras is going to do it, but only because he is sort of inclined to do it because it's one of the things he does.
Okay.
That would be my thinking.
I feel like he's getting even with us for all those times. I don't rob him. I can't do it.
Rob him.
What if you go touch it, but you put it back? Does that count?
Yes, because it's contaminated.
No.
You put it onto the floor.
That's fair.
That's what it means by dropping it, isn't it? Because it disappears when you come back. You can't see it in the same spot. So it's just gone onto the floor and or gone underneath the bottom.
And in the span of changing a room, somehow it just mysteriously vanishes into the ether. Like, I don't know.
That's basis in real life. You put something down, it's never there when you go back to it.
That is a valid point. I'll allow that. That is true. So, but Fleury getting through D.Mist, we know where Fleury's going, and we are seeing where Soleras is going.
Yeah, Soleras is going to go and check this. Yep. Going to get his item. Does go past the thing.
Oh, a little pity for the old man tonight? Maybe?
No, I think it's mostly because he spent so much time on this so far. He's thinking, I've got to get through this as quickly as possible. Let's not take the 2 seconds it does to do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the difference between a win and a tie. So
they do a couple of eggs. So Soleras feels he's ready. He's going to be on his way to Zeromus momentarily through that pass.
Mm-hmm.
And Fleury is deciding to go and check a couple of dead ends.
So little bit of setup here on Soleras' side, but I guess this is probably the more important question, Poydrak. You know, there's a question everyone asks at the end of a seed.
Is it to do with these flags? Because
it might. It's late. I mean, you did say you were going to go back to sleep after this. So,
oh no, I can tell you exactly what these flags are.
Oh.
They are actually protest flags.
Oh,
they are protesting the lack of online know-how for Z, the game.
I did not know that. It's amazing to see all these people protest Z. I know,
especially on a free enterprise stream as well.
Yeah, right. But no, really, where are the flies for?
You tell me.
I did. It's something about 520 a lot, newspapers, scary things, and butts.
Okay,
There we
so
go. That's a good summary of what the Z fly stands for.
okay, so
Yeah.
I hear there's normally a question. What would that question be?
Whose butt are we going to kick this morning?
That sounds about right. But
It works
I
for me.
have been mentally requested by Asuka to ask this question that never gets asked.
Oh, okay.
How is butt today?
What if the sprite doesn't have a butt? Then what do we do?
We still ask that question
Oh, okay.
because it never gets asked. Everyone says what is butt, who is butt, but no one asks how it is. How are you today, butt?
With an X-Cal Cecil staring you down, I feel like if a butt could be terrified, it probably is terrified.
Yeah, I would. I would completely agree.
It might be concerned.
Yeah.
So does the sprite have a butt? I mean, it kind of has a butt.
It's hiding it.
Yeah,
It's so scared, it's hiding it.
I don't blame it. I would too. I mean, the tail's kind of connected to something. We could assume that's, the butt area and, yeah, so. Yeah, there we go. Neon has nailed it. The butt is implied.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are now, though, in full Zerg mode. Cecil, Yarn, Edge, all very, very angry. There goes he's slow, doesn't have any silk webs, so slow on Teller.
Yep. And there is our pink tail, courtesy of Luca. What final boss, unfortunately, do we get to see on the bridge? Just to rub it in for good measure. Well,
it's free imps.
Kick him off the bridge. I don't care.
we must stress though, this Fights for Soleras is not free. His levels are okay, but they're not at that level that he can just sit back. Porum is very, very under level. Doesn't even have Cure 4.
Would you like to talk? Has Cure 4, just not queued up. But do you want to explain Combo Platter and how that works?
What, the Big Bang into Meteor? Yeah. Very much a possibility going to happen.
Yeah, I'll say if you're counting damage, it's at that threshold. You're right at that 8,000 threshold where it can easily throw you for that loop, and that's dangerous.
I would get Teller up right now. But there's also, mostly because you really want to nerf that Big Bang, and if you're going to go into Big Bang Meteor. But if Porum can survive it, which we've seen Porum do amazing things against Romus, especially in the Meteor phase, there is the chance that you can just go Big Bang into Cure 4 if you time it right, straight into Meteor.
Exactly, and like you said, timing's going to be the important thing on that one. So.
The timing is actually fairly easy with Porum in that particular spot. But does she survive the Big Bang? She's at a very low level. She doesn't have a whole lot of will increasing gear.
Right. But we're seeing the nerf come out, so I think that probably answers our question. And the new went on for the right character.
Yeah. Young is going to easily shrug that off, easily be alive for the next, if the Big Bang comes out now. This is only going to do 1200 the max. Porum is going to survive. And heck, and well in safe levels for Edge and Cecil. Oh, well,
And
for
that is
but
the crumble.
not even going to see Meteor.
Nope. Not this time, we're not. We
So-
have a finish.
Soleras has won in the time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, 29 seconds, and I believe I've just heard someone enter the room. Gambit, was that you again? Or was that Soleras?
I thought we locked Gambit out of here.
Oh, right, yeah, it must be Soleras then.
It must be Soleras.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Hi.
GG.
Thank you.
That was the seed.
Yeah, it sure was. Oh, wow.
Pointer,
So-
yeah, you lead off. What do you have?
I think we should start at the very beginning. How
Uh-huh.
rude was that overworld to start up with? Sure, you had a bit of power with Yarn, but all Gauntlet, Ogo Pogo, Ordeals wasn't exactly a walk in the park.
Yeah.
How did you feel
So-
that part?
You know, it's funny because, yeah, Ogopogo's rude and an alt gauntlet's not nice, but it was also like, I know my opponent has to do these things, and it's an easy alt gauntlet, and Ogo could be so much worse in so many other spots. And Ordeals, I'm trying to remember what was on Ordeals, but I just remember my mindset being, I don't want to get got by like a Golbez or a Plague, so I know I saved after the first fight, which I often don't.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. I had a cat claw and a can-do attitude.
I mean, that starting kit was when
Amazing.
When we saw that, it's like, all right, cat claw. You start with a poison claw. Here's a black belt. Yang's punching everything into the sun at a minute into the game. It was, and both of you obviously leaned on that very hard, and it worked out very well for you. He asked about the beginning, I'll ask about the end. The end was free into, there was a lot of free on the moon, except for that one spot.
Is that one spot that you missed?
That would be the one spot. When you saw that there, where'd your mind go?
It went, okay, well, I can't not do this. I think I have a few coffins. Okay, let's go.
And it always ended up being was a wall because it had nothing behind it at all. But
Yeah.
it was probably on your mind after seeing the rat tail into nothing, the Dean Mist into nothing, thinking that was a complete waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly was. And then when I got back, I was like, well, we're getting pretty late into this seed, considering, yeah, we had a pretty slow start, but it wasn't like anything really walled us so hard. I figured we were both on the moon. It was fairly linear if you took the mindset of let's just do all the Earth things. So I kind of figured we were both on the moon. It was sort of a top-down, bottom-up kind of situation. I was like, well, I went bottom-up. I have to commit. Went to the Crystal Altar. I was thinking of Zoe when I faded the Crystal Altar initially. I told myself this one's for you. And of course, the Crystal Altar had the value, but I went back to it.
Mm-hmm.
No
definitely had the
chains
value.
took me astray.
Yeah. Where was DKC in your plan? If things started paying off, was that in the back of your head like, oh boy, it could be this, right?
I was thinking about it, but with 2 paths into go mode, I just figured, okay, so I tried it once, and my main issue is my anchoring. I didn't think I can really I just didn't know how I would do it easily. Kane wasn't even fast enough to go first, so he could like jump. So I just said, you know what, I'm off this. And that was one of those like, well, if I go back and do it now and it had the goods, I would have lost. So I just faded it forever.
So let's go now to Cecil right now. You picked him up in Cave Eblar, and you exited immediately, going to cast weapon. Was that to see if you could just pick up a weapon and for either Cecil or Kane, or was it just I want some experience?
It was so I could fade the crystal sword.
Okay.
Kidding. I wanted something for Kane or Cecil. I had garbage. I had that Elven Bow that was okay. I had Elven Bow and I had Cat Claw, and I was mostly worried that Mylon was Mylon, not Mylon Zed, because Mylon Zed I had an easy way to deal with. We had Fire Claw. Well, I don't know if Fleury had it, but I assumed he had it because like 3 of them showed up in the cave upland. So I was like, well, I don't have hourglasses. I don't want to commit very hard, but I'll do like the first one that shows up, especially if it's very easy. And I think the Mad Ogres with a Cat Claw, with a Charm Claw. Actually, the Elven Bow, I should have leaned on that too. Would have been faster. But anyways, I figured like I could do that. Yeah, it knocked my people down, but when I had Bahamut, I was like, I'm not going to stay here, though, you know. I spiked a second Cat Claw, and that was kind of it, so I just left.
Yeah. It's not just the crystal sword that you sort of threw to the side because that was in another trap chest, but in the left tower, you did the right-hand side chests, but if you'd gone to the pot to the left, there was a Gungnir in there.
Ah, that would have been nice. I mean, you know what? It's okay because Edge ended up showing up, and I had probably Gungnir level weaponry for him anyway, and some darts, so I'm not too mad about that.
Yeah. I'm guessing that treasury, when you looted and you saw that Murasame, when Edge kind of came along, it's like, yeah, I've got weaponry. Did that lean into the decision? Like, yeah, come along. Come here,
Yeah.
Edge.
Easy choice. And actually, the thing I was most happy about was that heroin robe, because that meant Porum could go first, and actually Zerk. Because I only bought like 1 Bacchus, and I think I found one randomly somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with that, you've won. You're on to the round of 16. So, congratulations.
Thank you. When I finished that, I was shaking. I was so ready to be like, GG's, this was a lot of fun. The stakes aren't very, like, we're not playing for anything but pride, essentially, right? So, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah. GG's to Fleury, obviously an incredible opponent, and thank you so much to the Restream team. It's always appreciated.
Yeah. We don't quite know who your opponent is yet, Dark Bold or Starman. Do you have any words of sort of challenge to them for next week?
I guess it's that I took down Penguinator and Fleury both somehow, so yeah. Let's, I don't know, get ready to rumble.
I feel like that's terrifying enough. Yes, I took down Penguinator and Fleury. Bring it. That's like, I'd be concerned.
Those are fighting words. I'm completely on board with that.
I guess I have thrown the club down.
Well, GG's once again, Soleras. Go enjoy your evening and your win, and we will see you next week in the round of 16.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Bye. By the way, that opening mist cave, that was for you, Martin.
Thank you. I appreciate it greatly.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, boy.
While we were talking to Soleras, though, Fleury did finish in an hour, 47 minutes, 23 seconds, and we have been joined by him as well. Unlucky for you, Fleury.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes sometimes. It's no worries. Usually when you want to win these races, you generally don't want to be in a spot where you only have 2 checks left and they're both the go mode items. Usually not a good spot to be in, so, it's unfortunate, but that it happens sometimes, so,
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, GG on the finish, though. It was a very well-ran race. We'll work backwards. That Luca key. Did it ever cross your mind to save Scummet?
Absolutely. If you caught it, I was sitting on the exit right after that, and I was like, I could do that, but like I have a crystal sword, man. I'm gonna go right through these bosses super quick. Which turns out I went through all but one of the bosses really quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, that turned out to be a fairly free moon. I mean, yeah, Crystal Sword kind of makes everything free, but yeah, with what was left in the pool, I mean, you had to sit there and see those and just be like, well, Where's the challenge? What?
Yeah, on a weaker party, I probably bail on that. Or if I had like a worse start, I'm more apt to bail on that. But I mean, if it's on the moon and I do that, I've given away like 3 minutes in a seed where I know both of us have holy swords, and it's a tough call to make. And I just didn't guess right. It's all right.
Yeah, and especially since there's. We were saying it was your only check on the Earth, and you didn't have a pass really to make things go. If that was the thing to go to make it quicker for you to finish, you would still have to come up to the moon and walk through it. So walking through it, maybe picking up a pass, and then going down, and with all the go mode things, sort of made a little bit of sense.
Yeah, it's probably enough to make up the time difference, but it's a hard call to make. So like I obviously I regret that it would have possibly won me the game, but if you don't know that ahead of time, so it's all right.
That's fair. Evelyn.
Yeah, I keep saying.
Well, I am a huge fan of Evelyn. I will preach it to the sun. Was it for the weapon or was it for the levels?
It was absolutely for the weapon.
Okay.
A little bit for the levels, but mostly for the weapon. Like, if that I didn't know if it was Milan and Friends or Milan Z, and if it happened to be Milan and Friends, and I go in under level, that can be like a 15-minute fight. So that had something to do with it too. But it was mostly for the weapon, and I knew I was going to get a decent amount of levels from there anyway.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it was the weapon that we all wanted. So I had a good laugh at that. It made the rest of the seed pretty much academic. Like other than Demas, there wasn't really a challenge. So that helps. It definitely
very good
helps.
call on that part. So
Yeah. How about the actual very start? Sure, we got a fair amount of decent things for that yarn to start off with: Cat Claw, Black Belt, starting Poison Claw. But it wasn't exactly a quick overworld, was it?
No, it was slow. A whole lot of power commands, and I didn't feel too bad about it because I was like, I can't think of any way to make this go any faster. I got one very fortunate Grimoire roll, if I remember right, on one fight. But other than that, like, it's one of those where, it feels slow when you're doing it, but your opponent has to do the same thing. So maybe if I had pulled like the right elemental claw out of a shot, maybe that saved some time. But it didn't feel good. But it didn't feel terrible either.
Yeah, both of you were in the underworld in under 40 minutes, I believe. So, yeah, nothing to be shy about, especially for a hook route. So, all we can really say is GG to you. Sorry you're not going through, but more time to do other things, I suppose.
Yep. No, we have a very excellent ladder that I can now devote a lot more time to, and not focus on one flag set. There are definitely other stuff that I'm been practicing as well, so some chance there. And hey, there's gonna be Soleras is really, really good, and you can absolutely have a deep run. There's no shame at all in losing to an opponent of that caliber, and we're gonna have some really hype matches in the top 16, top 8 going forward. So, not every tournament is going to be a deep run. It is a randomizer. So, if this tournament wasn't mine, oh well, and just practice for the next one.
Also, for those that didn't hear, Fleury is going to be doing ladder. Everybody go run and hide. Just warning y'all now.
I'm trying to catch up to Inven right now.
I was saying he's bored and he's out for vengeance, so good luck.
Yeah, Inven needs to be knocked off of that top spot. He's been on there a little bit too long, so feel free to get your cricket bat and just go bonk.
Working on it.
Yep. I'm guessing, Fleury, this isn't going to be the last we see of you. The next tournament.
Oh yeah.
Pretty safe to say you'll be there.
yeah, there's a couple tournaments, and that I'm looking to enter, not just free enterprise, but also like there's going to be things for free enterprise, and it's been pretty enjoyable helping on the planning side of these tournaments and watching them, turn into a very solid, if not time-consuming event. And we'll see how the next one goes. I'll be there, and yeah, it should be a good time.
I'm looking forward to it. So, but GG once again.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you guys taking the time to do the all the volunteer work. Since this will be my last time on a restream on this tournament, I do want to give a particular shout out to Zoe Vermillion, who put in like a whole lot of incredibly difficult work to get this Siren bot working in such a way that the tournament has managed to run as smoothly as it has. And I totally respect the amount of work that goes into something like that, and it's very much appreciated, but it still needs to be said very often. So
I
Zoe,
feel like,
thank you.
I feel like for someone that's participating in the tournament, let's not discount the amount of work you put in as well. I hear you may have been involved in some things, i.e., a lot of things, like all the things.
A little bit, but that's okay. Like there's definitely some superstars behind the scenes, and any chance I get to shout them out, I'm gonna take that chance. So
that's fair. Well, we'll take this time to shout you out. Thank you for all
you're
the work
welcome.
you put in this tournament. I played in it. Poydrak played it. I had a blast. I'm so looking forward to the next one, and obviously you probably are as well. So
yeah,
thank you very
it
much.
sure will be nice to hopefully go back to a tournament where we have slingshots.
Yeah.
And I now got to spend the next 3 months thinking of the next way to troll all the runners on a flag set.
We've
hear
got some ideas already, don't we?
Oh,
we do have some ideas, but we got to refine those and think of ways to give pain in a good way to our runners.
Pain. I love it. All right, Fleury, go enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yep, will do.
Yeah, and take care.
All right, thanks, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Poydrak.
Yeah, we're done for the evening.
We are done, but it's only Saturday. You know what that? Well, for you it's Sunday.
Yeah.
But
So today, we've got more matches coming up today.
Yeah, we're not the last.
Yeah. At 8 o'clock my time, we've got Dark Bold versus Starman. That's 3 o'clock for all you people that have strange time zones. And at
are you actually trying to figure out your time for this?
At midnight on Monday, we've got Phytasia and Moonblade's Wolf. So,
okay, that's 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock Eastern for all us weird people.
Starman.
Nice point, right? Great. We're gonna have people show up here at midnight and be like, "Where's the race?"
Midnight on Monday. Yeah. Okay. So 3 o'clock. Dark Bold Starman. 7 o'clock. The Vitasia and Moonblaze Wolf. Both deciding matches to see who goes through to the round of 16. But that's tomorrow. For tonight, thank you all for jumping in and watching this. Feel free to follow our runners, Fleury, Soleras, our restream team in the background, Night Dew and Gambit, my co-commentator Martin, and who does a whole lot of strange and wonderful things, and I guess me if you really want to, although I'm not exactly a prolific person, but feel free to follow us all. Feel free to have some fun. We're going over to good guy JDP, who is doing something.
I'm okay with something. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, go follow. Yeah, see all those names in chat. Go follow all those. Also, don't spoil the race.
Yeah.
We know
Scarlet
where you
will
live.
come. Yeah, Scarlet will come after you with that newspaper she's all so good with.
I was gonna say, have you ever held a newspaper and you know how it like rubs off on your hand and you get that like the black
Yes.
ink on your hand? If you get
Yes.
hit by it, it kind of leaves a streak on you,
Yep.
and nobody wants to be hit by a newspaper. So yeah, just don't spoil the race, and you can avoid that fate. So, but
Enjoy your evening, everyone. Have a good one.
yeah, take care, and we'll see you over on JDP stream. Good night, everyone.